It's the type of pizza that like you wanted to eat when you were a kid. You know, like watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something like that. And it's just like these big slices, and it's got that theatre around it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Birmingham Food Podcast, Breaking Bread. Here to tell you about all the amazing food in Birmingham. Bringing you behind the scenes at obviously all the top restaurants and independents and interviews with chefs and stuff like that. Love that. Thank you for listening to our last episode with Actor. I hope you enjoyed that. That was massive for us. Obviously, we've done a small intro for that one because it was a really long episode and we didn't want to take up any more of your time. So we just want to start this one by getting stuck into a few places we've been eating while we were away over the summer. You might have missed some of it. We do put all the pictures up on Instagram and the stories, so make sure you go follow us over there and have a little look at them. But let's start with Carl because you've ate out a lot more than me.
Oh mate, I've done loads of shit. Loads and loads of shit. It's been no dramas for me.
Summer's been brilliant for you, mate.
Mate, since our break, like we didn't get to talk about a lot of this stuff on the last intro, but I mean...
Obviously we started this series 3 with our interview with Alex Claridge.
Yeah, and I went and ate there.
First time we've been there since Stu left.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. As good as I remember. It's such a nice place. It's been done up a little bit since we were last there as well. And obviously you've got Rob doing the cocktails there, and he's come up with loads of nice sakes, and you've got Sonal there as well. And they've sort of created wine. They've basically just made wine out of other drinks. It's one hell of an experience drinking there now. Because obviously if you go to the Wilderness, you've got to get the drinks pairing if you drink, because that's as interesting to me as the actual food itself.
Alex has put like a dream team together of like hospitality buds, hasn't he? Like, you know, took the best and just sticking them in there.
Well, he's took like, probably the best sommelier in the city and one of the best cocktail makers who's just a genius with inventing drinks.
Yeah. And
just put them all in his restaurant. And you know what I mean? You've got one hell of an experience there now.
It's a winner of a winner. And the food was good.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
Music's still good.
Mate, it's the same sort of vibe. Go, just chill, nice laid back atmosphere, see the kitchen, the food's fantastic, the drink's fantastic. If you've never been to the Wilderness, then you've
got to go.
You've got to put it on your list of places to go, definitely.
Well, what else have you been up to, mate?
Oh mate, it stopped. Went to the Jazz Festival. That was fantastic. I always go to the Jazz Festival. It's like one of my highlights of the year.
Missed it last year when it was gone.
Yeah, I was gutted, to be honest, because it's one of them things I look forward to it months before it even happens, because I just know how good it's going to be. But yeah, it was fantastic. Absolutely wasted. I didn't make it to the end of the day.
They put a bit of effort into their food and drink there, don't they?
They do. There's great drink there. All the beers, like by Purity, and you can get cans of Attic as well while you're there. And it's just a lot of good street food traders there. Great music.
What did you eat? Can you remember? Oh, Jerk. Wasn't it Jerk Centre?
Yes, you were West Midland Jerk Centre. That was fantastic. They had the pork, man. It's probably some of the best pork I've ever eaten in my life. Yeah, it's crazy good. Siobhan had the English Indian, which I hadn't tried before, and I was really interested in trying their food, and obviously I ate half their food. And that was fantastic as well. Like, really nice take on fish and chips. It's nice to have a bit of spice to it. The food's great. And there was more I could have eaten, like OPM with there. I really wanted that, but it was a choice of, do I just carry on drinking now and go for it? And I'm one of them. Once I get the flavour.
Once you've had too much food, that's it then as well. You can't carry on drinking after.
I pick drinking over food, which is rare for me, to be honest. But once you get that taste, that's it. Like, it's a nightmare then.
I've been in Ireland for a good while, as you heard in the last episode. So not many places in this country. I haven't been eating out a lot, to be honest. I've been fairly quiet, but I did go Verbena last week.
Yeah, you went for your birthday, didn't you? Happy birthday.
Mate, Verbena was unbelievable.
Yeah, I've been.
I was so impressed. I literally spent the whole week afterwards thinking about how can something so simple be so bloody good, man? It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. 3 or 4 elements or ingredients on a dish, and all 4 of them like just magic. It was like, wow.
It's just nice that there's a place in Birmingham like that. There's so many restaurants like this in seemingly every other part of the fucking country. You come to Birmingham and there's one place now like it. That's it.
Well, I could eat there every week, to be honest.
Yeah, if I was local to there.
I definitely want to try the Sunday dinners there. Sunday dinners look wicked.
Yeah. I definitely want to try them. I think we've mentioned Sunday dinners before, like or something.
Oh man, it's just so nice. All the people working in there were brilliant as well.
Yeah.
Service was just unreal experience. Like, just great. It's just mind-blowingly simple but brilliant. We just need more of that.
Yeah.
Give us more of that, please.
Every single part of Birmingham, like Moseley, Kingsheath, Sturchley, Shirley, all these type of places, they should all have one of these restaurants.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially in the city centre. There's no, you in the city centre, there's nothing like it either.
And then we've had a couple of big events I've not been able to go to, which I was gutted. They just seem to land at the wrong time for me. Weddings and stuff.
It's a shame. But I got to go to the official opening party of the Grand.
Mate, it was just a takeover of every single person I knew on their Instagram and Twitter. Everyone was there.
Walking around, I just kept bumping into people. Like, I couldn't walk 10 paces without bumping into someone I knew. It felt like the whole of everyone ever was invited to it that I've ever met.
It was just like the best party that's ever been thrown in the city, wasn't it? Like, I don't think
I'll ever go to a party like that again. Yeah. Like, it was crazy. It was like 5 bars, it was on 3 floors, there was everything, there was food knocking around, loads of entertainment, loads of wicked people, all decorated, all just super nice atmosphere. Like,
in fairness, when a hotel, obviously as grand as that, excuse the pun, and that ballroom, it's just made for hosting these wicked massive events, and that's what it's for. And then the fact that they invited like just loads of people from the city, from chefs and other business owners and stuff, like some media outlet.
Yeah,
it was just like
Instagram bloggers and stuff like it was everyone.
No, it was nice. It felt like, come on Birmingham, let's come and have this party and celebrate us being back open. Like, it was a really nice thing. And
it was unreal.
I missed it, to be honest.
Mate, I don't think I'll ever go to a party like that again. It was crazy. Put it this way, I walked home barefoot from the kebab shop from it, so put it that way.
That's always a good sign of a good night.
Yeah, a good party.
Obviously, thank you to Joe and the relationship, everyone there who works there, for inviting us to that.
Yeah, they're so cool with us. Yeah, an amazing PR company.
Yeah, we're not just saying it because they do invite us to loads of cool shit. We like them so much because I genuinely feel like they love independent food businesses.
Yeah, and they love Birmingham.
All businesses in Birmingham, and they love Birmingham.
And they reached out, they helped us, and they still help us.
They helped us, and during the whole COVID thing. During the whole COVID thing, they were more than happy to offer their services to people who probably wouldn't have otherwise been able to afford it at such a hard time, which was nice.
Yeah.
And obviously, another invite through the relationship.
Yeah, Beer Central. Yeah. Oh, mate. I remember the people probably listen to the podcast know that the first time we went to that, I thought it was like the best day ever. And this was still like one of the best days ever.
Mate, even as a non-drinker, I absolutely loved the first one. I was gutted again, I couldn't go this time.
Well, this was much bigger, on a much grander scale.
Oh, really? I thought it was small scale back a bit, because the venue had moved.
Way bigger, yeah. No, there was like 2 arenas, not arenas, but staging areas. And it was it felt massive compared to the last one.
Yeah.
There was definitely more beer places.
It basically is just a craft beer celebration, and I mean, we've done an episode before with Greg and the lads from Dig Brew to talk about it. If you go back and listen to that, you'll hear more about how it all kind of got going and stuff, and you could nice to hear about their vision then and how it's come along now to something bigger. Obviously, it's just got the best craft brewers, hasn't it? There?
Well, that's it. You pick your glass up as you go in, and you've got like 4 hours. Was it 5 hours? I think it was 5 hours. 11:30 to 4, and just drink as much as. I'm sure the idea behind it isn't to get paralytic and drink an absolute shitload of beer.
That's just a good byproduct.
That's just what ends up happening in the last hour. You're like, shit, I need to drink. No, I want any more drink.
No, but it's about taste.
But it's about trying all the
tasting
different
them.
breweries, and like all the big boys were there to try, and girls.
Not even just that, but talking to the you can talk to the brewer there, or it might be the owner of the brewery. You can have a chat with them, talk about what's in it. Like it's just a massive experience, isn't it? Like
you can go and try like all the big like breweries are there, and you can go and try. Well, I say big, like big craft ones are there. You can go and try them, and then there's ones you ain't heard of. Or little independent ones from London, or maybe there's one from Yorkshire that you haven't heard of before. And you can just go along and try what they've got. I mean, you can literally get, like, it's only a small amount you get in a glass, so you get to try. I mean, I don't want to put a number on how many I've tried, to be honest.
A lot.
I think at the end I was just at Attic and Burning Soul.
Yeah, so there is local boys there as well, which is good.
And Glass House, they're all in sort of like the same spot. So I was just like working my way in between all of them. Like, make sure I try everything they had.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, that was banging. Great day. Like, it's coming back next year. And if you even like beer just a little bit, like some of the people I went with that got tickets, they're your typical of, they've got Carlin. I love Carlin blues. At any bar, or they haven't got Carlin, okay, I'll have a bottle of Budweiser then. Like, that's their general sort of attitude to beer. And even they, like, were buzzing from the festival. They had a great time. And some of them people, they went the first year it was on as well. So they clearly just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there really is something for everyone there.
No, it's a wicked event. Always in the calendar. I love it. Yeah, that's our little catch up of what we've been doing. We were going to do I was thinking of maybe doing a whole episode, but I don't think it needs a whole episode. So just a little rundown.
Nah, but this is a cracking podcast.
I
love this one. This was really fun to do.
Two real down to earth, they just look like they're having fun. They're doing it, don't they? Like they're like living the dream. Like
it's just nice to speak to two people that had an idea and just thought, fuck it, we're going for this, and they really went for it, and it's really paid off for them.
Oh, massively. This is with Dan and Jack from Pizza. Everyone knows Pizza. Vegetarian little pizza place down in is it Woodbridge Road? Woodbridge Road?
Yeah, Moseley, opposite sort of.
Yeah. Why did I have to try and define the road? You know, down in Moseley, little place down in Moseley. Awesome place. Just New York style, buy the slice, grab a piece and go. Sit down, have a few beers, a couple of glasses of wine. Just really casual. Great place to start the night.
Yeah, I'll just, if you even walking by, even if you're not hungry, just go and get a fucking slice of pizza because you won't regret it.
I'm tempted to go and get a slice now.
Like, if I'm not hungry and like I could have just had lunch and someone goes, "Do you want to slice this pizza?" I'd be like, "Yeah, go on then."
Yeah, it's a great concept. They're great people and they're really, really loving it. So I'm just really happy to hear their story, how they got started, some of the troubles they encountered. Obviously, none of this stuff ever goes completely smoothly. So to hear some of them encounters, obviously, if you're sitting listening to this, thinking about setting up your own little foodie dream.
Yeah, if you wanted us to open your own restaurant, this is a great...
Yeah, it's a great episode to listen to, like.
And you know what? I'm sure if you wanted to open your own restaurant, if you just asked them how they did it, they'd give you information on how to go about it as well. They're such nice lads.
Definitely, yeah. Just good. Go and sit and have a pizza and they'll chat to them about it. I'm telling you, what did they say? They genuinely love all their customers, and you can tell
they make
that
an
they
effort
really
to talk
do
to them
that.
when they go in, and they have like a really high repeat business. And you only get that if you're really cool people.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, Jack and Dan.
Pizza.
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 Dan, Jack, welcome to Breaking Bread. How are you getting on, lads?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having us.
Really good, thank you.
Good.
Good to have you on.
You picked the first day of autumn, real autumn.
It feels like it, doesn't it? It really does.
Is that what it actually is today? Technically?
No, I think it was a few weeks ago.
Was
But,
it?
2 days ago.
but I don't know, but like, it felt like summer,
Yeah, it
isn't it, the
feels
last
like
few
it.
days?
It's fucking
and-
dark at 7 o'clock, and I was like, what the hell's going on outside?
Yes,
It's
Sam.
like, when did that start happening?
Yeah, it's just
Mental.
rained all day. It's been lovely.
So we're at your awesome shop, Pizza. I don't know what I call it shop, it's a restaurant.
It's a slice shop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got
that
it in my head like New York, you know, like
Yeah.
it's
But
a shop
we
and
refer
it
to
New
it as the
York.
shop.
Yeah.
So
Do
are
you?
you at the shop?
Yeah.
We rarely say you at the restaurant.
How did you just get into like hospitality and
It was my first job when I was at school, and I grew up in the Black Country. I grew up in Stourbridge, and Frankie and Benny's opening was a big thing back then. In 2003 at Mary Hill, it was a big deal, and my brother went there, and he was just like, you know, you should apply there for a job, and I did, and I started as a busboy, and I've been working in the hospitality ever since. It's been a long ride.
Starbridge still hasn't got a lot. It's got Ronnie's and a few.
It's got Ronnie's, yeah. It's still not. I mean, I haven't been there for so long. It's got some really good little pubs around. Restaurant-wise, no, I don't think it has got a lot going on. Ronnie's
I
in
drive
the
around it a lot for work and stuff, and other than Ronnie's, I can't think of anything
to
go to really.
Yeah, so you can see why Frankie and Benny's would be an occasion.
yeah, it was massive. Yeah, like you'd go there on a Saturday night and there'd be like a 2-hour wait for a table of tea. It was insane. Like, it's crazy to think about now.
No, this country's moved on a little bit.
Just a bit, yeah.
It's lost its reputation a little bit, Frankie and Benny's, I think.
In fairness, though, I think it's something about that Merry Hill sites, because when I worked for Weatherspoons, the busiest Weatherspoons in our region was the Merry Hill site, the one up on the top.
Yeah.
That was by far, like, not even close. Like,
yeah, it used to be rammed. It used to be absolutely rammed. And I started there as, like, just bussing tables. And I'd start at 6 and I'd finish at 11. You just wouldn't stop running round, just picking plates and scraping off. It was just
loved it there.
There was something about it that just hooked me in. Like, even as like a 16-year-old, I never really knew what I wanted to do. Like, when I was leaving school, it kind of got to that point at school when I was leaving, and I was just like, oh, I've got to pick something to do now, like that, and that's it. And I was working there, and I just thought, but you know what, I'm just going to ride it out and see how it goes. And then,
it's one of them. You're probably quite aware that it's not the best of food, like, but the camaraderie, the team, and
we knew it was bad quality. We knew it was overpriced, but like you say, it was camaraderie. It was like, I was 16, probably turned 17 by this sort of point, but because everybody gets to know each other in other restaurants and bars, it became very easy to drink underage and things like that, and you get sucked into that sort of lifestyle. Everybody was really good friends. Everybody had like sort of, you get used to working nights, so your night begins at like midnight, and then you go out somewhere else, and then you go on to somewhere else after that. Yeah. And you end up just slipping into a lifestyle that.
How old were you again when you started?
I was 16 when I started. I was 16, but I can remember. But the thing is, as well, I looked like I looked 16 as well. I never looked old for my age.
Yeah.
And so I could never really get into bars or clubs and things, or like served in many pubs at all underage. And then suddenly, I was probably about 17 by this point, still getting ID'd at every door. And then suddenly, because a lot of people knew a lot of people in different bars and things like that, if I walked in with them, suddenly I could drink in all these bars, and so many doors just opened right there. It was great.
How did you get started in hospitality, Jack?
My history is not very long or interesting in it really. I did a bit of glass collecting at the Birmingham Bullets upstairs in the bar, and that was about it. And then I did food and business at uni, so left uni and worked in a few jobs of kind of like food science and things like that. Then I went to Marston's where I met Dan. Worked in the head office there, and pretty much went from that into this. So before this, I had no solid kind of hospitality experience.
What did you do at Marston's?
I was in menu development. So I also went to UCB, did a degree in culinary arts, and then kind of got to the point of graduating, and it was a choice of like go down kitchen route or go down development route. And at the time, I chose development.
Why?
Why? Because I was never like 100% confident in big kitchens. I always felt sort of like the pressure got to me quite a lot in kitchens and things like that. And when I was summing up my options of where I wanted to go, it kind of just felt like there was going to be more of a career, like a long-term career, if I went into product development. And so I did. And so
I think kitchens back then were like, they're not the kitchens they are today, where they seem a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah.
Back in like 2004.
Oh no! So this was actually. So I didn't go back into uni until I was 21.
Oh, okay.
So I was a little bit later going back, and then it was a 3-year course, 1 year of placement. So I was about 25 by this point. Now I graduated. It's 2011, I think.
But even in the last 10 years, how much restaurant? The last 5 years, how much restaurants have changed?
But you have to now. I mean, you just can't get away with what was happening back then. But yeah, I just decided to go for the product development route, and then so I worked doing developing desserts for supermarkets for a little while. And then I kind of got really sick of that side of it. I really didn't enjoy sort of going and presenting to retail and things like that. And then this job came up for menu development for Marston's Brewery, when sort of all of their pubs. And so, I applied for that and went and developed menus for them, which is very much.
Yeah.
Did you both do the same job?
No. I can't remember what my title was there now. I was a food information technologist. So all the really boring stuff about food, really.
I used to develop a dish, and then Jack would tell me why I can't do it.
Yeah. That's basically it. I'd be like, no, that doesn't meet our calorie requirements, or the allergens we have to have, and so we were definitely from different worlds, really, Marston's, in terms of that. Although we did work on menus and things like that together. But I didn't like that anyway. I mean, before that, I was working for a company called Deli Foods, and they make sandwiches for places like Boots and Sainsbury's. And I worked in a technical office of a factory there. So I came out of uni and just did that, and that's probably the worst job I've ever had. Honestly, it was awful. Like, the office didn't have any windows. It was completely tiny, and you went into the factory kind of now and then to watch things. And I was just doing spec work and stuff like that. And I was like halfway through my time at Marston's, I was like, why am I doing this with food? Because this isn't what I like about food at all. This is like I'm looking at allergen sheets and nutritional information. I'm like, well, how did I end up doing this? And then so me and Dan, we met there at Marston's and went to the gym you
could probably tell.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was short-lived.
Obviously,
you probably
this is audio, so you can't see that these lads are.
Thank you. We went, it was probably like the second time we went to the gym or something. We said, like, what do you actually want to do? Like, if you could choose anything, if you could have your dream kind of thing. And we both said, like, some kind of food place, our own thing anyway, where you could kind of do what you wanted, have a bit more freedom and stuff like that. And so I wanted to get out of what I was doing as quickly as possible, and I think you were fairly similar.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, we just not saying that there's anything wrong with those types of places to go and eat. They serve a purpose, they've got a customer base, but it just was not the job that we wanted to be doing. I spent sort of 70% of my time at a laptop. Jack's was 100% pretty much a laptop sort of thing, and it just wasn't. Even though they were quite clear and told me that's what it would be when I applied for the job, I think the reality of it kind of like I wasn't quite ready for. And so, we were both just sort of ready to get away from that sort of thing.
You probably focused more. You just heard food and thought maybe it's more food. And
exactly that.
More food.
Absolutely. And also, you think it's going to be food, but you don't really know how. Because it was a world that neither of us knew before we went into. It's
tough, isn't it? I mean, I understand why they do it because they've got so many venues that, and it's all about consistency. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be to a price.
Yeah.
So I completely understand. I switch on chains all the time. One thing, I think, they create a race to the bottom. So you get a lot of people saying like, "Oh, why would I go and eat at this independent place when I can go to the White Swan and pay £6 for a burger and I'm thinking, well, I hate that. That's really annoying me, that is. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, would that person go to that independent place if that White Swan didn't exist? Probably not anyway. So it's like, it's an internal battle for me.
You're probably not competing for the same customer a lot of the time. I don't think we do compete with a lot of the same customers from Marston's brewery pubs, sort of thing.
But even like for like, you're not a Pizza Express. You're not chasing Pizza Hut either. Like like you're completely different.
Yeah, like Pizza Express closing in the high street. I don't think it changed anything for us whatsoever. I don't think. Nah.
We never even made a note of it being there much when we were thinking about opening here, just because it's so different.
But you probably heard people like moaning. Maybe you haven't, but you'd hear people like say, "Oh, you could get a whole pizza at Pizza Hut for 3 slices of your pizza." But it's not a like for like, is it?
We got it. We got it when we first opened, didn't we? For quite a lot actually. Like, but never from our customers. Just people who like to sort of like poke their head in the door and shout. I'm not even joking.
No, it was a big thing. We like some people around Moseley. Their favourite thing was to just stick their head in the door and go, "You're going to fail here." And then just walk on.
I'll give it 6 months, lads.
Yeah, 6 months. Everywhere that opens here fails. You're going to be no different, seriously. And we were just
what you want, I suppose.
Yeah, just what you want when you put your life into something.
Yeah. Look, I can't believe people being like that. But yeah, what you were saying as well about the price thing, it's like everyone compares beer anywhere now to Wetherspoon's prices. And a lot of the time when someone says, that place is expensive or that place is expensive. They just mean in comparison to Wetherspoons.
Yeah.
Like because and it's not even almost their fault because their perception of what beer should cost is from that. So it does do a bit of a disjustice to places.
Even I used to like. Now I still think I'll go to the bar and buy 4 beers, and I'm like, fucking hell, 15 quid.
Yeah.
But then I think back what I used to get for 15 quid. But I was drinking in a fucking shithole then.
Yeah.
Like, I weren't drinking in a good place then.
Yeah.
So...
Did you just say you get 4 beers for 15 quid?
You can get 4 beers for 15
Is that
quid.
good?
Where?
Wetherspoons. Yeah, the Wetherspoons by me. Yeah, you can definitely.
That's a bargain. Yeah, so that's my view on chains. I get a bit... But I just... For what it does to you boys, I don't like it. But then it sounds like the everyday Joe around Moseley give you enough grief anyway.
No, it's definitely the minority.
Yeah.
Definitely the minority.
There's always going to be some. But them people coming past, they want to eat here anyway, no matter what it was. So it doesn't...
So if someone's going to Pizza Express, has been to Pizza Express probably once a week since 16. I was like, I love Pizza Express. You're like, really? You don't like pizza very much, then, do you?
I feel like we're picking on Pizza Express.
We're
not really picking on Pizza
Italian.
Express.
I think like with the pricing thing though as well, it's one of the things that is probably still the most frustrating about what people think of our place in a way, because we do maths on things like, okay, how much pizza is 2 slices of ours, and it's the equivalent like of a 10-inch pizza, like a whole 10-inch pizza, and it's like $5.95. So it's not really doesn't seem that expensive to me. But
It's pretty much the cheapest pizza you can buy in Moseley.
yeah.
I'm looking at the
Out
price
of
now.
anywhere.
I'm like, I can't understand the problem.
It's because it's because they're called slices. That's all it is.
Yeah.
People just think 2
I mean,
slices.
they're a big fucking slice, though.
Yeah.
Really big.
But they're
Remember
just-
we were at the Little Blackwood down the road,
Oh yeah.
and you had a pizza sent over to us when they did the bloggers night, and we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
all doing the cooking there, and the pizza turned up, and it was the whole pizza box.
Yeah.
And we couldn't put it anywhere. We had to go and put it on a table in the restaurant. It was that big.
We had to stop sending pizza. We don't buy the big boxes anymore because we were
People couldn't get them in their car doors, so
20
had to put them in the boot.
Not a single driver's got a 20-inch bag,
No.
and so we had to ditch them.
Oh man, still nailed about 5 slices.
It's fair to say you didn't really enjoy them jobs then.
No.
Did you take anything away from them days? Has anything came useful? Like
Yeah, loads.
Yeah. 100%.
Loads has come useful, and loads of in loads of different ways. You know, so even though it's not exactly sort of high-end gastronomy that you're doing, you're learning about costings. You're learning about pricing of from your suppliers. You're learning about allergens and things like that, which are obviously hugely important at the moment. You're learning about how to effectively blend your GP across an entire menu, you know. So there's absolutely loads that you can take from it. Just not cooking tips.
Yeah, it's not the actual food
Yeah,
itself.
just not the actual food, but as a business,
Yeah.
I took loads from it.
There is, and they teach you other things. Obviously, every job teaches you to a certain extent things like how to work hard and things like that. You know, you can take certain positives from whatever you do. It doesn't matter if the food there's soul destroying.
And you learn from the bad as well, don't you? You don't just learn from like the benefit of like, oh, you know, I can take away this knowledge because it's good and whatever. You learn from, you know, all the things that you just know for a fact you want to avoid and never want to slip into that sort of routine of doing things in a kitchen or whatever.
sometimes
it
you
may be.
learn the best lessons from the worst things. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
You learn more
Massively.
from failing than you do succeed.
Yeah.
You have an awful boss. You're like, well, one day I'll be a boss. I'm hopefully going to be nothing like that bloke.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write down everything I dislike about this boss, and then in the future I'll do the opposite of everything that's on this list.
So I need to put a caveat on that, saying you learn more from failing. You do, unless you're the government. Then you just think it's going fucking great and carry on.
And then you just get voted in again.
Oh man, you're not going to talk about politics.
It's a different
There's better
podcast.
things to talk about, like pizza.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to keep up
Definitely
if I
worth
started
it.
talking about politics anymore. To be honest.
So how did you just working from Marston's think, fuck this, you know what I want to do? I want to buy a shop in Moseley and sell pizza slices.
It took ages. It took
Yeah.
like 4 years more.
4 years of planning. Yeah. It came from like my wife and I were down in London one weekend, and there's a few slice shops, you know, they've been there for ages, and I said to her then, like, why is there nowhere why is there nobody doing this in Birmingham? It's such a good way to eat pizza. It's such a great way, and the quality of them all was really good. And that's what I came back and said to Jack. I was just like, there's an opportunity there, and it's just like, I got half of my sentence out, and Jack was like, yeah. I mean,
sold.
Yeah.
So,
And then
Big American pizza slices.
it's the type of pizza that like you wanted to eat when you were a kid. You know, like watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something like that, and it's just like these big slices, and it's got that theatre around it, and that's what, you know, not pizza that looks like it's from a cartoon, but you know, that sort of
two hands,
two hands get involved.
open wide.
Yeah.
Definitely got a novelty, and I think kids love it now for that reason as well. Like a lot of parents bring their kids here, and you see them holding the slices up and covering their heads with it, and stuff like that. And it's like, it's really nice to see that, because it came from the same kind of place that made us want to do it in the first place.
But we weren't always set on being a suburb place either. It's kind of originally we had the idea that it would just be like city centre, high footfall,
Yeah,
like
it
proper.
screams for a city centre, doesn't it? Like,
and that's the way it kind of. That's where the idea was originally for, and then the reality of a city centre place for two lads with very limited resources and no reputation to bring to it. You know, it's not like we came from street food background or had just left one of the big boys in around Birmingham to come and bring some sort of like name to. And so when the reality of all of that sort of set in, that's when we had to think, okay, well, can we change the concept a little bit? And if we do that, where would it fit? And that's when we landed on Moseley.
So you're thinking more of a hole in a wall type place?
Originally, yeah. Maybe not quite a hole in the wall, but somewhere in between. Sort of, if it basically no real front of house to serve from. Seats, a few seats maybe, but basically it would be.
I think similar to some of the slice shops that you see in New York City. You know, they have like a bench up one wall and like some tiny round tables. They're kind of designed to make people leave quickly. They're not comfortable. They're like,
You've got to slice fuck up.
Exactly. And now the funny thing is, we're trying to do exactly the opposite now. We're like, stay here, have a dessert, have another drink, that kind of thing.
That's probably something you picked up from your previous jobs. We thought, hang on a minute, there's money if we can get them to take a dessert or take them a drink, or
Yeah.
We've learned it. I think, well, for me, I've learned it more so from being here. And looking at figures and going, right, we're busy in these times, but where's the money falling short or something like that? And then we're like, spend per head. And then that was a phrase that we heard endlessly at Marston's, and we're like, oh, no, that's why they said it. No.
But also, it's we had to introduce more sides, more desserts, and things like that because we wanted to, because we're not a hole in the wall or just grab and go. We do have a lot of people just coming and grabbing a slice and then leaving. But because we also want people to feel comfortable and want people to have like an entertaining couple of hours, like an hour and a half sort of thing, so you've got to make sure that there's an offer to support that.
Every industry will tell you that the most expensive part of retail or selling food is getting a new customer. So when you manage to get hold of a customer, make sure you try and get as much out of him as you can.
It. I mean, our return custom always has been sort of like that's one of the things that's really knocked me back a little bit. Like I'm just so shocked at how we see some people multiple times a week. We see others like once a fortnight sort of thing. But the amount of people we see coming back, it's
mate, if I live close enough, I'll be one of them people. I'll be every week.
But it's lovely. It genuinely is. The amount of like. When we first came to Moseley, like I lived down by the cricket ground for a little while when I was a student, and then afterwards, when I was working at a pub in town and just sort of finishing up uni, and so me and a load of other people from this house were living from the pub. We were all living in a house down by the cricket ground. We'd come into Moseley a little bit, but we didn't know loads of people, So we were coming in here with no reputation. We didn't really know the local people, and so. Now having sort of feeling that sort of community base, it's pretty amazing, really.
Yeah. We've always taken the approach as well. We've treating customers like like, thank you for coming here. Because at the end of the day, you know, that gratefulness, I know some places they prefer to play it a little bit more cool with customers, almost not over the top. We're not. We're like very, very friendly with them and very, very personable because we're genuinely grateful for them for them eating here and being regulars and stuff like that, because you'd be nothing without them. And I think that pays off a little bit. People like that and they come back because of it.
But because it's genuine, it's not forced.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're like, it doesn't feel like a chore. Like it's because it's genuine gratefulness of people coming and choosing out of all of the places in Birmingham that are fantastic, and there's lots of them. And there's lots of them within a walk from this spot where we're sitting right now. The fact that they're coming to us, it's like, well, like you deserve to have a good time for the next hour, and I'm going to do what I can to make sure you have that.
Yeah.
So when you became aware that Birmingham wasn't the place, what was it? Straight away Moseley, or
no? That's when things sort of really took much longer, didn't it, to like really find a place. And we did have a couple of looks at various places. At one point we did have a little look in Sutton, didn't we? But then Moseley was always high on the list, really.
Moseley's good because it's got like a bit of a reputation of kind of independent food places. Like, why is Sutton so crap?
Oh mate, I don't know.
Sutton and Solihull for some reason. There's there's nothing there, and there should be.
I live really close as well to Solihull.
I think high rent is a massive thing. Like it's really, really big. I mean, if you look at like what happens in neighbourhoods in general, they're generally like cheap to live in, so people open shops there. And they're normally the coolest people who open shops, places like that, because they're the people who are like, you know, it's their first venture or they're doing something. And that's just what happens in neighbourhoods. A place that's been as affluent as Sutton and as expensive to set up a shop in, no one's really looking to go to do that.
But then you've got places like Leamington. Leamington's good.
Leamington's good.
It's a similar vibe. That's why I can't
true.
understand why Solihull isn't similar to Leamington. Because Leamington's expensive to live in, and it's got cracking bars.
Yeah.
I think Solihull's got the Greens cocktail place.
Yeah.
That's the only place I'd sort of make a beeline for. It's got good curry houses, but that's it.
It's got one more than Sutton then, I think. No, there is some decent places.
Sutton's got Otto now.
Yeah, Sutton's got Otto.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's a few decent curry houses as well, and there's the Butler's Arms and there's Pitalicious, which I go to quite a lot.
Mate, I love Pitalicious.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's really good. I had one yesterday.
You're beating Solihull now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want to say too many bad things about Sutton because there are like literally just a handful of places that are good, but it's just that there's so many places to eat there, but they are all chains, like all of them, like every pub is, you know.
I think they're the only ones with money for a lot of places now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even here, like you had them all trying to take over the high street here. Like you said, Pizza Express opened up a place, and
Costa took the bank. And
what a fucking waste that is, Costa at the bank. Like, what a stunning building. There's a fucking Costa.
Yeah.
I don't know how
that
that's
is such a fucking waste.
I hate that. Like you go down to sort of, you go into a city centre and you see all these like amazing buildings and like old banks and libraries and things like that, and
it's a fucking
it's a Costa or a Wetherspoons. Yeah. I guess it's good that the building still has some sort of life in it, because I don't know who else.
And it'd probably be too expensive for an independent just to fucking buy it and try and get something there. But
exactly.
Yeah. You just kind of wish something better was there.
Yeah, definitely. But in the end, we were kind of just going and viewing a few places around, and this place had been empty for a little while, I think.
I can't even remember what was here before, to tell you the truth.
It was starfish
and coffee. Starfish and coffee.
Starfish and coffee. Yeah. And like
that rings a bell.
And I never ate here, but from people who did eat here, like, I've only heard good things said about it. Really, I think it's just because you're not on the high street, and you don't have any parking. I know we're like 20 yards away from the high street, but that might as well be a mile to some people. And so
people don't know about us because we're not on the high street. We still have people who live on this road and come in sometimes still to this day and go, "Oh, how long have you been here?" Like, it's so strange. Like, it's just because you're not.
Surely everyone's going to the pub though. Like, everyone goes to Paddy Kavanagh's.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But so it was a coffee house before, but it was both units. It was next door as well.
Oh, right.
So it was a big place, and that's what put us off coming here, because it was empty for a while, but we didn't even bother looking because it was too big, too expensive. and then we got in contact with the landlord and said, like, is there an opportunity to take half of it? And he said, well, actually, funnily enough, I have somebody else who's also interested in half of it, which was Katsu Kitchen.
Yeah.
And so this wall went up, and we were split in two.
Yeah.
We still share the toilets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Moseley as well, because of what you mentioned earlier, is like it's got that we thought they had like the kind of mindset to handle a new concept, like where we were put off by Sutton because they don't have anything that's a bit different. It's you don't want to be the first, and that might be why there's not more good places in Sutton.
No, you're going to get chased out of Sutton.
I know. But
Solihull.
yeah, we just thought Moseley, you know, they'd accept us maybe a bit more readily and accept the concept a bit more readily.
It was definitely the sort of community like that we thought that we could kind of come into and fit in.
Yeah. Was it 2 years ago you started this now?
Yeah.
So that, about 2 years ago, that would make sense. This would be the only area, even sort of not really King's Eve.
Yeah, King's Eve was just getting started. I think Poly opened.
So Poly opened in, I think it opened about 2 or 3 months before we did.
Yeah. Because it felt like I think we'd done a podcast and we were talking about what does Birmingham really need, and we were like, well, we could do with a few more pizza. Like we had Alicia's and Otto.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like Franco Manco, Rudy's, Pizza, Poli.
It was in about 12 months, wasn't it? They just we all popped up.
We're pretty good for pizza now.
It's like, go on.
For fuck's sake,
Yeah. No, it's true. I remember when we opened, because of so many places opening, there were different newspapers did articles on rearranging us all in like orders of top tens and things like that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of press about it.
There's so much comparison when we first opened, wasn't it? Like literally, like everybody just wanted to compare to.
But you were so different, so it was.
But we were still being compared to all of the others, you know. So you got Polly, Baked in Brick, Otto, Laggy's Deli. So all the real, I guess Polly weren't hugely established, but I guess they also were from the second that they opened because they just went off. We kind of came in and we sort of opened the doors and just didn't really tell anybody about it.
No.
We were just like, we were so bad at like social media side of things, and we still to this day haven't spent a penny on marketing, which is a bit crazy.
Yeah.
But we kind of just, I think part of us wanted to kind of take a soft launch sort of thing.
Yeah, find your feet as you went along.
It's just we forgot to do the hard launch after.
It just carried on.
And also it got to the point where, you know, you finished building the place and everything and setting everything up, and that was like, you know, 100-hour weeks just building and decorating and getting equipment in and things like that. And by that point, you've got so little in the bank left. You're like, we have to open. I'm going to have to pay myself a wage next month, so we've got to open now, really.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of opened because we had to at the time. And I think we kind of thought that everyone was like me and Dan, in the sense that if somewhere like this opened around the corner from them, they'd be there here every day, because that's what we were like. Like if this was around the corner from us, we wouldn't leave it alone. We'd be there every week. We'd be there after the pub. We'd be there in between pubs. And we forgot that maybe not everyone's like that.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. So we've had to build our customer base. It was definitely a very steady, gradual climb.
It definitely wasn't like we had days where, and to begin with, Jack and myself, we were doing like if we did an 85-hour week, we'd be like, oh, put your feet up, mate. This is this is like to begin with, and it was, we were doing days to begin with, you know, and so you look at what you've taken. We'd been sort of open for 9 hours of trade, and then by the time you've cleaned everything down, sort of, so one of us would have been here from 8 o'clock, and by this point you get into 11:30, and you look at what you've taken through the day, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
And so me and Jack make a good partnership because we both have very different mindsets. And my mindset was contingency plan after contingency plan after, like, okay, so if this doesn't happen, we can do this, and if this doesn't happen, we can do this. Jack's plan was, just give it some time, chill, just relax. There's this point and this point, and like you know, all of the points that I've said. You know, we've not bought a reputation with us. We've not done any marketing. Just give it some time.
Yeah.
And luckily, he was right, and all of my contingency plans haven't had to.
They're still there just in case.
Is it both of you that drives it though? Because a lot of people would use that as an excuse to be like, well, we haven't got a rep, so we better just wait, or we don't know how to do this, so let's just wait. But you didn't wait, you just went ahead and did it. So
in terms of beforehand, we were just really excited at the prospect of doing it. I think both of us, we were blinded by anything else going into it. We wanted to have this place like, as it is now, and we were just like, we were so just sure that if we did it how we wanted to, that it would be a success.
You were sure?
No. I think at the start.
I was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like.
It's a hard reality to live when Dan says, like, when you're quiet at the start, it's very hard to live in a quiet restaurant and look at it and be reminded that it's quiet and you're not taking a lot at the moment, and you have to live with that day in and day out, and you're shattered as well. So it's emotionally draining to be in an empty restaurant.
That, like when I say like we were doing 85 hours sort of thing, I knew we were going to be doing that, and so I'd been mentally preparing. Like it took 8 months from the day we put our offer in on this place to signing the lease. It was 8 months of negotiations on this building. Wow. Obviously, splitting it added some complications into it. But for 8 months, I've been mentally preparing myself to be knackered because of like I knew I'd be doing these hours. What I hadn't prepared for was like the mental exhaustion and like the emotional exhaustion sort of thing. Because at the time, I had my daughter was 1. And so I was also having to deal with like huge dad guilt of feeling like I wasn't doing enough at home, and my wife having to pick up like loads. And
now I've got a son as well. I had no idea how Dan did that at the start because like I struggle. We're down to like 50-hour weeks now or something.
I've got 42 next week.
Timers.
I know. 42 hours and 2 days off. I cannot believe it.
But honestly, but even now, I'm like, I have guilt about coming out and doing this tonight. I was like, oh, sorry, I've got to go and do this. But now I'm thinking like, God, Dan was like whole weeks he would miss and things, you know. Yeah. So it must have been difficult.
Yeah. Sorry, Ivy.
She'll listen to this one day, be like, don't worry, Dan.
He sounded like he's having a good time to me.
When it's really quiet, it's very easy to say to yourself, maybe we're not doing this right, maybe we're not doing that right.
That's it, yeah.
But how close were you to changing the whole concept altogether?
I don't think it ever actually got close at all, really, other than in my head. You know, and that was only, and it was never completely changing. It was just constantly thinking of things that we can change. Some of them are really good ideas and we implemented. Some of them were ridiculous and we never went near, gladly. And so, yeah, it was just about finding that balance. But Jack was right the whole time. It was just going to take some time. It was going to take some time to grow. And
yeah, feedback was never a problem for us. Like in terms of reviews and stuff like that, people's feedback in the shop, it was always ultra positive, and that's what gave me the confidence to be like, it will go in the right direction. Then if people are this happy after they eat here, and tell their friends as much as they are, you know, we'll get there. Restaurants don't just go backwards if that's the kind of feedback they're getting and the reviews they're getting on things like TripAdvisor.
You knew your food was brilliant, so you just had confidence.
We knew it, and people were telling us in a way that wasn't just like, oh, how was your food today? Yeah, good. They'd come over and go, oh, you know, that's amazing, some of the best pizza I've ever had, and still, like, to this day, that's amazing to hear. But back then, it gave me the confidence to think, people like it, it will grow. That's what happens to businesses.
How did you get to the stage of, because obviously neither were you proper cooks or anything like that, or chefs. How did you get from that to having a great pizza, from no pizza to a great pizza?
Oh God,
you must have gone through a lot of trial and error.
It's kind of funny and a tad embarrassing how little pizza we'd made before our first soft launch. We'd made a lot at home in a domestic oven and in frying pans and stuff like that, because it's one of the best ways to make it in a frying pan if you aren't. These ovens, I think we'd made.
We had a few.
Yeah.
Not loads.
No. We hadn't done a lot. But we did have a good recipe that we'd worked on for a long time.
We started off in my kitchen in Bearwood, in this sort of 2-bed terrace sort of thing, just trashing this kitchen with flour everywhere sort of thing. And we'd spend like 6 hours making really disappointing pizza and then just going to the Midland pub in the high street.
Yeah.
And just, like,
we were gutted though, we were crushed, because we thought the first time we made it, we were like, if we do all these things right, like make the dough ourselves, make the sauce ourselves, it's just going to be amazing. And we did it, we were like, but this is crap.
But it was quite good, because what it forces you to do is accept the, like, right? But then you go back to basics. And so we did, and so we just sort of, we had a basic understanding of sort of just dough, all of the elements of dough, fermentation, temperature, sort of percentages and recipes and things like this. We had a basic understanding, but not like great understanding. And so we just absolutely devoured content on as much pizza. Like, we'd spend hours and hours on like pizza forums in America, and like we'd spend like just reading whatever we can on sort of like the science behind gluten and fermentation and how it works and all of this sort of stuff. And so we had to go in deep on it.
One thing I learned from doing that is that it's hard to find out how to make good pizza. Like, really difficult.
Yeah,
like,
they don't want to share it once they've
No, like it's so true. Like, if you go on YouTube and type in some, like, try and find a dough recipe, or if you get a lot of popular cookbooks in this country, their pizza bits, it's really difficult to find genuine, like, industry standard recipes and ideas for things.
Yeah.
And then to try and scale it up.
Yeah.
But we're still learning now.
Like,
Since we've been open, like, we traded for, we've traded for just over a year in total of like actually being a restaurant. And in that time, the amount of times we've changed our dough formula, and it's not just like percentage tweaks. We're talking like fundamental changes, the entire process changing, just not like ingredients and sort of. And so we're constantly changing it, and we're already working on the next way that we want to change it. And we know that what we want to do. It's just about making, and now it's just in the development side of it. And we'll continue to do that, because every time that we've actually done it, there's been some that just didn't work and we weren't happy with. But every time that we've actually gone, right, actually that's the one that we're going to go with, it's been like a dramatic improvement. And I look back at what we did. I always said, like, if we're looking back at what we were doing 12 months ago and thinking, why were we doing it like that? But at the moment, I'm almost doing that by the month. I'm looking back and thinking, like, because we're
so critical, really, of the pizza and how it has to come out, and we'll talk either by text or in person multiple times a week of what the dough's like this week, and how come it's like that, and what do we do differently, and what are the variables that have been out of our hands we can't control, and so it's a massively ongoing thing, and dough is inherently complicated like that. There's a lot of factors that affect it. It's just about controlling them.
Were the pizzas always going to be vegetarian? Was that always the plan?
No, that wasn't actually in the plan until quite late on. And I remember that phone call. So I was driving back. I was working in Coventry at the time, and I was just got onto the Aston Expressway, and there's loads of traffic. And I thought, right, I'm just going to phone Jack, and I phoned him. I was just like, got an idea for you, mate. How's this sound? What about if we just went vegetarian? And you didn't throw it back, did you?
No. I was genuinely like, I can't lie. I've kind of thought about it a little bit, because we only ever wanted to have like one or two meat choices, if anything, because. And so it wasn't a massive leap from how we were originally going to do it. And then we were like, I was like, well, if there is one type of pizza that I don't really care about having meat on, it's pizza.
I was just about to say, like, out of all the foods there are, I'm quite happy with pizza to be vegetarian, to be perfectly honest. All the other ones I think I do miss it a little bit. But if I order pizza, I often get a veggie one anyway.
Exactly.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, because you have like things like margaritas just being, the king of pizza, and that's been around for so long, and it's such a simple bunch of ingredients that beyond that you don't need much more, really. And so meat doesn't bring as much to the table as it does in other cuisines.
Are you both vegetarians or neither?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, 6 years clean. I think it's about that.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do. It makes you stand out again. So not only are you doing a different kind of pizza to everyone else, but
I bet most people probably don't even notice.
We do get that a lot. more common than you would think that people would have come for, like, they'll be their third trip here and they'll bring somebody new with them.
Yeah.
And the new person will go, where's the meat pizza? And they'll go, oh, it's the wait, hold on, there isn't one.
Yeah.
And then they'll realise, that's at the point they'll realise. And that's partly why they're named the way that they're named.
Yeah.
Because they're named kind of like as a flavour profile rather than just...
onion and halloumi or something.
Yeah. Well, rather than just like, you know.
Yeah. When people,
a lot of that one.
It's so true though, because like when you see the titles of pizzas or dishes that are like that, like courgette and pepper, onion and halloumi, carnivores will look at it and go, hold on. What was it? They'll instantly take in all those titles and go, I don't like the sound of any of them. But when you keep it as simple as just spicy, tangy, smoky, you know, anyone can come in here and go, oh, spicy, that's a bit of me. You know, doesn't necessarily show them that it's lacking anything for them.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite?
No. I mean, I've gone through them all so much. I have a favourite for the week, sort of thing, and then
same with me. Changes all the time.
Changes
all the time.
Smoky is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Between spicy,
it is good.
spicy. I'm mad for that.
But this is the thing. Do you know what? They're so like evenly distributed in terms of like favouritism through like our customer base. That's why we started doing the specials, because the second we take one of these away, it's almost become like, you know, like when you go to a curry house and you know what you're having before you go. Like a lot of people have the dish that they order. It's kind of turned into that sort of thing. They have or they'll have the 2 slices that they'll go for, and then so that's why we do the weekend specials now, so that we actually do have some more flexibility into what we're offering.
You tend to team up with a few local places and do specials as well.
We've done a few, we did Zindia, we did Dirty Kitch when they were but they were quite early doors. But then again, you know, we were closed 8 months after.
We've been meaning to do a few more as well. Like we've had conversations with other independents. One of the things we really actually, it's a little bit off topic. One of the things we really liked about some of the other independents eat here quite a lot. And when we first opened, especially, that was massive to us, because like we were trying to be like them, and we loved their places. And then to have them eating in here and coming over and chatting to us and saying, we're like, it's just another confidence boost to say, you know, we're on the right track.
You're doing a good job.
So through that, we had them asking to do collaborations, and we were over the moon with it. We just haven't got around to it because pandemic, stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you were just developing the recipes for the dough, sorry, just to go back to that, did you have anyone you could call, or anyone who'd give you an hand or something?
No, not really. Lots of books, lots of you know. There was I'd done chefing in my background, so you know, I'd worked as a chef, and I did obviously that degree at uni. But in terms of like baking and dough and things like that, didn't really have we didn't have any connections. We didn't have a huge background on it. It really was just sort of like, right, go back to school, lads.
Yeah, because baking, like with dough work and stuff, it's such a different way of, like, if you have a load of ingredients, it is. You have a load of ingredients, you know, say you've got onions and garlic and everything, you can cook based on flavour, and as you go along and make it up, and it's got too much of this, I've had a bit of that. With dough, you make it all, put it in a fridge and just pray. And then 3 days later you're like, oh no, it's fucked, we can't use it. or it's not, and it works.
A little bit into our development, we knew that we wanted to do like long, slow, cold fermentation, and that was the thing. So we'd be super excited to try this new thing and just this little tweak or this different part of the process and see how it affects it. But then you've got to wait 3 days. And then you're just looking at it. So it's just taking up space in your fridge at home for 3 days. And then at the end of 3 days, if it's shit, you just like... hell.
It really is. It really is. And it's hard because it's definitely a science. Like, I think how you want it to look is an art. Because, like, you know, the finished product, you design it from that way backwards. You look at a crust and you go, I want this kind of colour on it. I want it to have like bubbles like this. I want it to be airy and light and big rather than small and crisp. And the base needs to be like this. So you look at all that and you work backwards and try and make the science, you know, equal that art at the end. And so, like, it's definitely both, but how to get there is pure science. It's all controlling variables, and hot days are really difficult to deal with, like crazy difficult. we can't get water cold enough to use. Physically, we have to use like -2 degree water. It doesn't even exist.
I mean, you go into a Michelin-starred restaurant, they've got a special pastry room, and it's like ice cold. Like
We have the sun blasting into our into our kitchen all day long.
That's
and so,
just what you want.
It literally.
Every pastry chef says, "I just wish I had a kitchen with sun beaming into it."
But that's it. Bearing in mind that, like in our back prep room where we do it all, and sort of where we make the pizzas on the evening, we don't actually have any heat in there. There's no elements of like, we don't have like stoves or ovens or things back there because it's all induction, so we can sort of pack it away for service. But like, because of where the sun is and the way that it just blasts through the window, you're still getting to like, and like the fridges, we've got a couple of like real big fridges which just pump out hot air. You're still talking like 37 degrees back there on a hot day.
Yeah.
And it is just, what dough does not love is 37 degrees sitting. And so,
We've had to get really creative with how we cool down water. Because actually, it's not too creative. We just use ice.
I thought you were going to say something.
No. But like,
just thinking like,
what have you been doing? But like in terms of like just like putting a load of it into the water and then getting it all out again and then temping it and going, okay.
And when you're working with fine percentages of like how much water you can actually add into it, and then you're having to deal with ice. It's not fun, man.
Yeah, because you're having to put it in and temp it, and as it's at the right temperature, pull the ice out and top it up with water. But that water's room temp, so it messes it up again, and it is a complicated process.
Doesn't sound easy.
No,
not in the slightest.
You can't even like put cold metal in, can you? Because that'll sort of taint the water a bit as well.
You have to.
Hold on.
What's that?
Get that business idea. That is going to change the pizza game worldwide.
What was that? What did you
Just
say?
like get a load of cold and freeze some metal.
Oh yeah.
Add it in the access and ice, and it's not releasing any water. But I suppose it's sort of.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can use like, I don't know, you can stick ice packs and things in there, couldn't you? But it is just about, this is the water that's forming the base of your dough. So you're not wanting to put anything in it at all, sort of thing. But
no. And
were you ever close to changing it from vegetarian only?
We've spoke about the future earlier on. So earlier on in this opening, like within the first few months, we did talk about, if this doesn't work, do we just change it? You know what I mean? See if we can get a wider audience. We've never been in a situation where we've actually considered doing it imminently, but we have been like, would we change it?
Because it's so well received. When people come in and they go, "Oh, do you have any meat pizzas?" I'd say 90% of the time people are like, "Oh, that's ace." You do get some people who are just like, "Oh no," then and then like,
it's very rare.
But it is so rare that happens. But it's impossible to know how many people know before coming in that it's vegetarian and avoid it because of that. You know, so we just don't know. And so when we were quiet in the earlier days, we were thinking like, have we just taken a concept which some people aren't going to be familiar with anyway and made it even more polarising by taking pepperoni off it. And so we did toy with it. And also in our thinking now, we're kind of like, vegetarian is probably less of the word that we're using at the moment. It's more just sort of meat free because there are like cheeses that some that technically contain rennet, which a lot of vegetarians just don't avoid. A lot of vegetarians just don't even know that these cheeses contain rennet, and so you can't. So technically, it's not vegetarian. So I think there is a conversation on whether or not we do start introducing these, but then just marking it that it contains rennet.
Yeah, it's because we have to kind of let people know, because you can't just slip something like that in, and then someone who's been coming here for the last 2 years go, "Oh, so it's not vegetarian then." And so we have to be a bit careful on how we do it. I think the main thing we're going to start asking for just a bit of feedback on what people would think if we were to introduce some cheeses.
Basically, just want to use like really high quality parmesan.
Yeah,
that's what's driving this, but it contains rennet, so like, we can't do it. So
I feel like it works. It's hard. It's like you said, though. It's hard to know how many people come in because it's vegetarian. Because for me, it's like it's just fucking brilliant pizza. Thank you very much. Put a label on it. I don't know. It's because it doesn't say it's not pizza vegetarian.
No, we didn't say. The first time I saw vegetarian in print, I think, was. Oh no, I can't actually remember.
Was it Side? I mean, Side came here really early.
Yeah. I was just see. That's what I was going to say, but then I can't remember if because you wrote the Birmingham News did a very small article online.
They did,
and it was like it's like a little box at the end of a I don't know, somebody's car got stolen or something, But we, I think Carlo was the first person to sort of because he really addressed it at the time. He said it's a vegetarian restaurant. It's an elephant in the room because they've not told anyone it's a vegetarian.
And we didn't. It was definitely a conscious decision to not label it as a vegetarian restaurant. Because if you hear that, you can be put off. But if you come here and eat the pizza and then realise it's a better way around to do it, you've tricked them. Then.
It's like what we were saying with Baja, that people just get uptight for the sake of being uptight. So it wouldn't matter if the food's fucking delicious. They see vegetarian, they're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
It would do us more harm than good to put it on there, I think.
How did you come up with the name pizza?
Jack.
Yeah, I did. I don't really know how. To be honest, it was a really brief conversation, text with Dan, and I think we would already just was set on opening a place like this.
Yeah, we'd got the concept, just didn't have a name.
Yeah.
Jack didn't want to call it Dan's, which was
Matheson's.
Jack and Dan's.
It would sound pretty good.
Jack and Dan's pizza place.
Yeah. Maybe for the next one.
No, I still remember that when Jack first mentioned pizza to me, and we'd been out the night before, and I was stupidly hungover, and I think I messaged him saying, "I don't think I can live anymore. Like, what's the point in life? I'm too hungover. This is the end. See you later." I just honestly thought he was curtains for me. I was that bad. Jack was like, "Hold on. The purpose of your life is to open a pizza place called Pizza." And that was the first time I heard the name Pizza, and I was just like, "Oh man, life's good again now."
Pizza fits.
And
then with the logo, obviously people can't see it, but they must have seen it. It's like the pizza logo with the slice out.
Yeah.
I always thought that was like kind of going back to the vegetarian thing, like maybe humane, peaceful.
Once Dan brought up the idea of it being vegetarian, it was very on brand for the name of the place and the logo. So it was one more like string to the bow or whatever that saying is. But yeah, it made sense, definitely. Yeah. But it was done that way around. We weren't a vegetarian pizza place that then called ourselves Pizza. We were always going to be a friendly establishment that was like just a place for people to chill out, and so it fitted it for a lot of other reasons.
Yeah.
It's also kind of anti-corporate as well.
Yeah.
From what you came from before, and
I never thought about that.
This is your
like
own,
that.
This is
stick it to the man sort of thing.
Try and lock us in your office, and we're going to come back out here with a pizza shop that's nothing like any other pizza shop. I love it, man.
Yeah. I've got to shout out my fiancée Lucy as well for doing the logo.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure she gets the credit she deserves.
Just be sitting there seething otherwise.
Yeah.
But it's not even the pizza. You take the beer, coffee, and especially the wine really seriously as well.
Yeah.
Is that always going to be on the cards, or is that sort of developed over time?
We thought it would be more beer focused, didn't we?
Yeah.
And so when we first opened, we had this fridge, and it was, I think we had like 15 beers like in cans. We've got the 2 on tap, and we thought that it would go like craft beers would just sort of fly out, and we sold shitloads of draft beers and a few cans. And the problem with a lot of these cans is they're relatively short dated, so it's not like you can just have them in the fridge anyway, and when they sell, and so
we had some stouts sitting in there for a very long time.
Imperial stouts.
Some 9% stouts.
But my dad was well happy when they went out of date, and he could have them.
And then we did think it was going to be more beer focused. The wine focus actually came from, we both love wine, both like really, really passionate about wine.
Yeah.
And we love the idea of the machine, like having it in there, and that enabled us to have a sort of a wider.
So you tell people might not be aware of this machine, because there's a couple in Birmingham, and Loki have got them all.
There's Loki,
One of the reasons is because we were both huge fans of Loki. Like Loki was the only place for ages I'd go to drink wine. Just how knowledgeable they are, and the affordability there of being able to just drink it in there for a corkage fee rather than the normal markup you pay to drink in a bar or something like that. And just it was fantastic. So that drove it definitely us wanting to get the machine.
We did so much business planning and that.
Yeah.
Upstairs at the Great Western Arcade.
For people that don't realise, it's wine machine that you put a card in.
Yeah.
And you can pick whichever wine, and you get a certain amount for a certain price.
Self-service.
Self-service.
You can have a taster for like 80p, or you can have
the
half.
beauty is you can have an extremely expensive bottle and still get to try it.
Yeah. I mean, so it's great. You can try 10 different wines for less than a tenner. Do you know what I mean? And that's an incredible thing to have in the building. You know, sort of that flexibility, and also part of the thinking behind it was also the way that people order pizza. It's rare that they'll just have 2, 3, 4 slices of the same pizza. They'll have 2, 3, 4 different pizzas, and so this enables you to have 2, 3, 4 different wines with the different pizzas, you know. And so if people are bothered about like having that pairing and that food matching side of things, it reflected the offer, and so
I think we've been lucky. Like the dynamic of this place kind of allows us to have that. In a normal restaurant, I don't feel like you could just stick a machine in the corner and tell people to go and use it.
Go and get your own fucking wine.
Exactly. But because of like this place, you know, people are coming in and grabbing a slice and going, as well as people sitting here. It's a bit more of a kind of, you know, a dynamic atmosphere. People can just don't mind getting up and using it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a little adventure as well in a way.
Yeah,
It's like a
absolutely.
little niche thing, and it's quite interesting. You can go, oh, I've not tried that. Oh, £4. Yeah, why not? I'll just give that one a go.
Yeah. Exactly. It's really good, and also it just meant that me and Jack can drink more wine.
You get to try more.
Which is a big thing. Yeah.
Do you get all your wines from Wine Freedom, don't you?
We do. Yeah.
So you're going ethical and sort of organic, natural route there as well.
I mean, those guys are just so knowledgeable about it.
Oh, yeah,
and like
fantastic.
we've learned so much from having those wines and like having contacts like, you know, Sam Taylor and Dan down there, and like it is important. It's an important thing to take sort of sustainability, biodiversity, all of these things into account.
Yeah.
And so when they're doing it so well, it's just like, right, let's get on that. You know, it's,
their style of wines does match the pizza quite well as well, because with natural wines in general they tend to have a little bit more acidity to them. They're a little bit more raw kind of thing, and so like when you're eating a fatty kind of food like pizza, they do cut through really well.
Yeah, I find that I use them a lot, Wine Freedom, for more wines, and mainly just because I get the advice.
Yeah,
and I'm at a stage now where I go and they're telling me what to buy. They're like, you'd love this one, get this. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. I like being surprised as well when I buy wine, and it's like if you can spend not a lot of money at Wine Freedom and still have a bottle of wine that shocks you. Whereas you go to a supermarket or you go to some other wine merchant, you have to spend a fair bit to be really impressed. But I think in places like Wine Freedom, it's like you can spend like £8 or something on a bottle, and it can be really, really interesting.
Yeah,
you might not even love it sometimes, but it's interesting.
My favourite sparkling of all time, the La Rosita, which it's so cheap compared to what you'd spend an equivalent value on. Like you'd pay easily up to 80-90 quid for a bottle that good.
Yeah,
and I can't even remember the price they've got it on, but it's so reasonable. You could, like I go in, I'm like, how many have you got? I'll buy all of them.
I'll have to try
they just
that.
sell out every time. It's so nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. No, they are. It's great. The wines that they get are great, and the stories behind them all, which is also something that we wanted to. You know, you want that to be part of your brand, sort of to bring those stories from the vineyard, like all the way into sort of our shop. You know, it is important.
Yeah. I think it adds a lot.
So you kind of joked about a second shop.
Yeah.
Any plans for the future, or?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, we've had about 15 plans in the last 10 months. We're always looking for the next thing. We've had a few things that have been very close to coming. Funny enough, one of them being Merry Hill, actually. Genuinely.
But they contacted us. They actually contacted us and said, "Do you want to come and look at the food court and do something?"
And we were going to go for that. It just fell through right at the last minute. And so
there's been a couple of things. We've had offers in and accepted on places on a second spot, which unfortunately fell through as well. And so but we're kind of back at that point now where we've kind of full circled on it, haven't we? And we're kind of like, well, maybe right now we'd just take better stock of like the situation in terms of.
we're still growing here.
We're still growing here. let's not pretend COVID's gone away yet, you know,
Yeah,
because it's
Don't know
definitely
what's
not.
happening,
And
do
so we never thought what did happen would have. So I'm not taking it for granted that it's gone anywhere, you know. And it's something like that could happen again. And so for now, we're just going to focus on getting this place better and better and better.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of plans
Yeah.
to grow, and
Especially with Dan. Dan likes ideas. You see, he has a lot of ideas, which is really fun hearing them all every day. But no, they're genuine. They're, obviously, it's a great thing. But yeah, there's a lot of things that tempt you. You just think like, Dan's like, wouldn't it be cool if we could do this? I was like, yeah, that would be really cool. Probably not practical, but that would be awesome. Let's keep that on the back burner.
I swear, like after the time, Jack thinks I'm like, it's like I feel like I'm Jack Dog sort of thing. That he just has to take me out for a walk and I'll burn off this energy that I have. But it's like energy on an idea, and I'll throw myself into it, and I'll be like, well, Jack, here's what you can do. And you can do it like this, and I'll go away, and I'll be writing business plans and cash flow forecasting. I'll go intense on it, and then I'll end up like Jack will be, okay, oh bless you, you keep on doing it, sort of thing. And I feel like I'll be coming to him with these ideas, and it's just like, we'll stick this on the fridge. Well done. That's a good idea. But,
we're definitely not short of ideas. It's just choosing the right thing, I think, to do next.
That's the thing. It's so crucial that the next move is the right move.
Yeah.
And the next move doesn't affect this place.
Yes, yeah.
Because no matter what happens now, this place is like it cannot go backwards. It can only go forwards, and we can't let that. You know, we have to make sure that that's what happens.
I think front runner at the moment is a mobile food truck.
Yeah, very close. We were very close to it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But
so you're doing it the backwards way, because everyone does the food truck and then
But then it's come from having to turn things down mostly. You know, we've had a lot of offers to do things. We've had a lot of opportunity that we could have potentially done. And unfortunately, we've had to say no to it because even though there are events and things that we would absolutely love to have done, we just can't do it at the moment.
Yeah, we get asked to do weddings a fair bit.
Yeah.
Probably because of the nature of by the slice being good for an evening
even street food,
wedding.
weddings, like just a slice. That
and
makes sense.
we just had to be like, no, sorry. And you know, if we had a truck, we could just do those things and a lot more as well. And with a truck that's a fairly blank canvas, it gives Dan the space to do other types of food. If Dan wants to do this one week or whatever, or we come up with this idea, you can have 4 or 5 different brands running through the same truck. So it's a bit more of an avenue to channel our creativity through as well.
Yeah, it's a good idea, I think. I think that's a nice place to kind of wrap things up. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up, shout out?
I guess whilst we have got, whilst people are listening to us, it is important to recognise the amount of support that we actually had, because it has been difficult to get this place open. It's been difficult to maintain it. And I genuinely think, like, I look at other places and I'm like, well, I wonder if they've got, like Jack's dad comes in probably once a week to fix something for us. Yeah. And my auntie...
Yeah, shout out to my dad.
Yeah. There you go. my auntie who worked like a 30-year like intense career and retired and could finally start relaxing, and we've got coming in to help with cleaning and things like that. And if we didn't have like parents who could like pick up my daughter from nursery and really supportive partners like Jack's partner and my wife, you genuinely think like, is it possible to run a restaurant without all of those things? And I don't think it would have been possible for us to have done it without that.
Definitely not. And I think family, what Dan's just mentioned, they're a massive support, but also the fella who used to own the place next door.
Jesus, yeah.
So when we were first taking on the lease for this place, the landlord wanted us to meet the person we would basically be sharing the lease with almost. And we met Yuji, and so he's called Yujiro Suzuki.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, really, really, really nice guy. And we, the first time we met him, he'd seen a mood board of what we randomly thought the place might look like, but it was just a collage of wood and tiles and random snippets of things. And we met him for the first time, and he designed our restaurant for us for free. Wow. Like he came with 3D drawings and was like, I've done this all for you, and this is how you make this is how you do this. And then he invited us to his house and never asked us for a penny for anything ever. He probably put in over 200 hours worth of work, like opening the place, building the place, and things like that. Didn't never ask for anything, like, absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
so thank you to him.
Yeah, he taught us how to, like the tables that we're sitting at now wouldn't be here if he hadn't taught us how to do it.
Yeah, we probably have other tables, like we would, but no, these ones in particular, there were scaffolding boards. He says, right, you need to order this many scaffolding boards. This is how you build this. You get the electrics done first, and it's only like retrospectively thinking, how the hell would we have done all that? We had no idea how to build a restaurant, like,
and
we just
we definitely didn't have the budget to
no,
just get like a design team.
So like meeting him like could have been make or break, having not met him.
Why do I get the feeling Dan's got a garage full of mood boards?
I hadn't told Jack about them mood boards. They're good though. They're good mood boards.
Right, if we're all done, we're going to move on to my questions.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't overthink them. Mm-hmm. Answer them quite quickly. Just first thing that comes into your head. It's fine. There's no wrong answers. Well, actually, there is a couple of wrong answers. Yeah. But, what's your favourite movie?
The Departed.
It's a solid shout, that is.
Yeah, it's a good film.
I'm going to go Lock, Stock.
Oh, that's a really good. You know, I always have the debate: what's better, Lock, Stock, or Snatch?
Well, the answer's Lock, Stock. It's just sentimental, man. I think I watched that film every day for like 6 months before school.
Yeah.
On VHS. Like it was.
Oh, it's mad, isn't it? It's great. Even your film, though, like, you've got Internal Affairs, the original Japanese one, and it's like, that's great as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Haven't you?
I haven't seen that, but we have a running joke with our manager who works here, our GM Sam. Every film we bring up, he brings up the original Japanese version.
It's that man.
So anything anyone mentions, we're like, yeah, the original Japanese one was better though. But I haven't seen it. I genuinely do want to see that though, and I should if it's my favourite film.
They're both good. They're both very different films as well. Though.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can remember. They're both great.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
What's your favourite band or DJ or artist or whatever?
That's savage. That is a savage question. Not savage.
21 Savage.
Savage question.
I'd say of all time, probably Nick Drake.
Nick Drake. Another solid shout. Can I just have Jack's answers? I don't know. I'll go through phases, and at the moment it's Jeffrey Lewis. Yeah, I've not stopped listening to him for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a good answer then. Can't go wrong there. What's your favourite spirit? I mean, specifically to the bowl.
I don't drink them.
You don't drink spirit. You know how many people say that?
Do you know? I
makes me feel like an alky. I don't. Whiskey, no.
I love cocktails, but I don't drink straight spirits. In fact, I think the only time I've ever enjoyed drinking straight spirits was mead.
You allowed to mix
at
it.
the Vanguard, but that's so yeah. I'm having
mead.
Maybe
Sam Bolton's mead.
Yeah, cocktails.
I drink spirits, but I think I'd have to say gin just because it's the one I drink the most. In terms of an actual type of gin, I'm not too fussy. Gordon's, Bombay, like Gordon's.
Those ones that come in a plastic bottle.
Yeah,
Tanqueray. This one probably.
Yeah, Sainsbury's Basics.
What's your favourite wine? I don't mean
again.
colour.
I couldn't go as specific as a bottle. It's like down to a specific bottle, but Riesling would be my favourite grade.
Burgundy Chardonnay.
Oh, nice. Oh, good answers.
Flashing it. Tell us from Sutton.
What's your favourite beer?
Tiny Rebel, Lazy Boy.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah, I could go that, you know.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like go-to lager.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Just all day sort of
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah.
It's not a bad shout. What's your favourite big fast food chain?
Fast food chain.
Mackey's for me, definitely.
You know, Mackey's is a popular answer.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
Does Pret count?
Yeah, I would take
suppose.
Pret, man.
Yeah,
I like Pret.
I'll take Pret over. I'll take Pret.
A bit of
over
Pret.
Mackey's.
What's your favourite takeaway?
Oh man, there's a place in Halzowen at the moment that I'm going towards home called Bengali Lounge. Oh mate, the pathia from there is banging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Pathia as well.
You're a Pathia man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have to
wicked.
try that.
Yeah.
Pitilicious.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because I'd say certain things this side of the city, but that's the one I get the most, and that's why it's my favourite because it's the one I can actually order.
So if you're going to pop out for a quick bite in Birmingham and it's not here, where are you going to go?
Oh man, that's tough.
Quick bite.
You don't have to answer this one.
Does it have to be a quick bite? Or does it have to be like a quick bite?
No, you can just go anywhere you like.
Okay. Gaijin sushi, probably.
Yeah.
It's a great shout. Tiger Bites pig, maybe.
A lot of people say that.
Absolutely, just a sucker for a bao then. Yeah.
So I keep saying, I don't
You think they're overhyped? I think they're brilliant.
get it.
man.
I don't
think
get the
they're
bao
amazing.
thing.
Really?
Yeah, they're nice. Don't get me wrong, but I just
don't-
think I like the filling. Kind of just have more of that.
Do you like bread?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
like
okay?
bread. If it's in a sandwich, I'd be like, yeah, it's the best sandwich I've ever had.
Fair enough.
No,
Strange.
I'm a big fan of what they do.
What's your favourite food destination in the world?
The wilderness? Do you mean like restaurant? Or?
No, country.
Oh right.
City.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you meant like.
I know. I should be clear.
Birmingham, probably. Honestly, because
You're
like
allowed it.
I love other countries and cuisines, and if it was a question of cuisine, I'd probably say something different, like sushi or Japanese. But in terms of a place to go and eat, that's my favourite. I know Birmingham restaurants better than I know like Paris restaurants or anything like that. I can't really say that that's my favourite place. Whereas here, I've got 10 different places I'd love to go. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Chicago. I got a all expenses paid trip when I was working. That's the good side of corporate.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by Chicago. It was incredible city, but the food was amazing as well.
I'd love to try one of them proper pizzas from there, like the
the
deep pan thing.
It's an experience. Yeah,
Lots of cheese.
yeah. I mean, it's certainly not my favourite type of pizza, but it's nice to say
Just
you've
to
had
try it once.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my question.
That's us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Lads, thanks very much for your time and coming on and talking. It's been really good to hear your backstories and get to know you a bit more. And
Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Brilliant.
thank you.
Cheers.